Check.
Still the same volume.
You got me.
I got you. They can't turn it up anymore. That's the loudest it can go.
It looks like it, yeah. Is that the loudest it goes? Yeah, that's as loud as it goes, mate.
All right.
Marcel.
Marcel. It's all happening.
Just thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Yeah, we're ready to go. Yep, just let us know. Well, it's the Charity Shield for 2016. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to Kurri Sports Ground on a beautiful night for rugby league, and we should be in for an absolute epic encounter. It is a trial, but in saying that, a lot of local pride is on the line and a lot of local blokes in both sides here tonight. Well, in the commentary box tonight, joined by Morgan Campbell and this man, Kane Bradley. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
What are you expecting tonight?
Typical Kurri Cessnock derby. Always a very eventful game between the two sides, and even though it's a trial game, I'm sure both sides will be looking to maybe get a few mental edges over the other side for the year, and I'm looking forward to a really good game. I think both sides have got some good local talent with some big boys up front, so it should be a good game.
Just mentioned there's a lot of local pride on the line, and pretty much that's right, isn't it? I mean, a lot of these blokes, they know it's a trial, but I guess it's all about bragging rights.
Absolutely. Between Cessnock and Kurri, it's a pretty rich rivalry, and I've experienced it through the early part of the 2000s, and no matter what happens out there, you definitely don't want to get beat by Kurri as a Cessnockian, and as a Kurri person, you definitely don't want to get beat by the Goannas.
Well, one man that never or hates to get beat by the Kurri Bulldogs is this man, Morgan Campbell. Morgan Campbell, good evening to you.
I take exception to that, Peter. I'm very impartial when it comes to these Cessnock Kurri games. Thank you very much. On the commentary, anyway.
Yeah, right.
I'm taken by the size of the crowd, Pete. It's enormous.
It's a massive, isn't it, mate? They've got the big festival up here on the weekend as well, the Nostalgic Festival, and I reckon a few people from up the street have pretty much filtered their way down here to the Kurri Sports Ground.
I think that's right. It's a massive crowd, and I think if they get these sort of crowds during the regular season, they'll be happy. Never mind for a trial game. Of course, it does make it easier. It's been going all day today. They started at 8:30. They've had the under sixes all the way, every grade all the way through, which is a tremendous initiative by the two clubs. It's been going on for a lot of years. And I'm led to believe that after all those games, the actual fate of the Charity Shield depends on the result of this match, as it tends to do.
Yeah, it sure does. So we're 80 minutes away to determine who will be the 2016 Charity Shield winners. Of course, the Charity Shield was established back in 2003. So we're entering our 13th Charity Shield season. So far, the Cessnock Goannas, I believe, hold the upper hand by 7-5. So let's see what the next 80 minutes brings here on Bar TV. Morgan, who are you tipping tonight?
Early season form, I think I might go with Kurri. I think they need to have a better showing in this first game. I know that's very controversial, but they had a pretty rough season last year, so I think they'll be pretty motivated coming into this trial.
Kane, where's your money going? That's a silly question.
It is a silly question, but I've always been worried about walking into Kurri Sports Ground. I think if I tip Kurri, I'd be worried about walking out of Kurri Sports Ground from the Cessnock
All right,
people.
I'll put this to you.
I think from my point of view, looking at the two sides on paper, I think Cessnock should get the bickies anyway, but definitely biased, but I'd say Cessnock anyway.
Are you like a pick the margin sort of fella?
Let's say Cessnock by 12.
Cessnock by 12. Well, on Twitter throughout the week, we put a poll to the rugby league fans, and it's fantastic what you can do on social media, and we had 35 votes, so I don't know if it's the best poll, Morgan. You know about
bad.
The polls.
I was one of those.
You were one of those?
Yeah, so was I, but I think you're supposed to call them plebiscites now, Pete.
Plebiscites?
Yeah.
Is that the technical term?
But 35's not bad.
It's not bad. Not bad for a 24-hour notice. Anyway, the Twitter folks, they're saying Kurri by 1-12.
I did see that.
1-12.
I was a bit disgusted.
That sounds like a stack to me. That sounds like there's been a whip round at the Kurri Club. Everybody on Twitter and vote in Pete's poll. All
right, well, let's go through the teams as they'll take to the field tonight. I'll go through the Kurri Bulldog side, and I'll let Kane take you through the Cessnock Goanna side. At fullback tonight for the Bulldogs is Josh Griffiths. On the wings is Torrens and also Macbeth. The centre pairings of Hammond and Hardy. The halves is Holman and Granger. Cullen, Wyborn, Moore, Cronin, Terrence Siu and Gilmore locking the back of the scrums. The interchange for the Bulldogs tonight is Campbell, McCain, Moran, Walker and Justin Peterkin as the Bulldogs take to the field here at the Graveyard.
What about this? We've got a mascot, Peter. This is a new innovation for 2016. It's fantastic.
And funnily enough, it's a Bulldog.
I'm pretty sure that the council doesn't allow dogs on the field, so this is very very modern.
I'm waiting to see the goanna come out. So the Cessnock side will be number 1, Cal Orchard at fullback. Chris Pine and Joe Woodbury are on the wings. Brendan Williams and Sean Metcalf in the centres. Jake Watts is back from a broken nose, and he'll be partnering Liam Foran in the halves. Brennan Halad and Corey Barber, Reed Hugo make up the back row for Cessnock. Alec Fatter and Noah Easton will be up front with Josh Dimmick in between. Brett Stevens, a little bit confusing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, coming off the bench in number 1 also. Zeb Dunstan, Sam Apthorpe, Kate Arncliffe, Robert Tuliatu and Brett Mendyke will make up the bench.
Okay, well, that's how the go-inners and the Bulldogs will take to the field tonight. As Morgan said, a big crowd in here at Kurri. I'd say in excess of maybe 2,000-3,000 people. It's pretty much the biggest weekend on the Kurri calendar as well, with the festival up the road. And tonight, of course, culminating in the 2016 Charity Shield. We'll quickly go back through the commentary team. A quick tip tonight, Morgan Campbell.
Well, as I said, I think Kurri are going to be a little bit hungrier. And can I say, just as an aside, Pete, isn't it great to see Cessnock playing in black and gold? I know they've had a bit of white and black and gold and all sorts of things. I think I called the jumper last year the Vegemite omelette. It's very good to see the black and golds back in form tonight.
Okay, well, here we go for the 2016 Charity Shield, live and exclusive tonight on Bar TV Sports. As we said at the beginning, even though the Charity Shield is only a trial, once inside this famous ground, you know straight away the match means more than that to the fans and the players. There's a lot of local pride at stake, and there's plenty of local blokes filtering throughout the opposition and the home side tonight for bragging rights. So let's see how this game unfolds. You're with Morgan Campbell, Kane Bradley and Peter Jolly here. Wherever you're taking the coverage, welcome up here to the Kurri Sports Ground. Taking our coverage tonight, of course, will be the Country Rugby League. So we welcome the folks joining our coverage through them as well. So Kurri Bulldogs in the first set of 6 here in the Charity Shield bring it just short of the halfway line. Here's the kick downfield. They've got the wind behind them as well in the first half, the Bulldogs. As Cessnock now head hard at the back.
That's not a trial tackle, Pete.
Welcome to the Charity Shield, Kay.
Absolutely. It's a good start to the game for Kurri. Great set. Good kick on the end of it. And they'll put a bit of pressure on Cessnock here.
So they're out to the 25-metre line. First touch. Now a penalty.
That doesn't help.
Doesn't help their cause, does it? So Kurri, they're going to be pretty much under the pump here as the go-inners expecting a good kick for touch, and they're able to find the touch line right on halfway. So they're about to come inside the Bulldogs territory for the first time tonight, and charging forward there is Noah Easton, held in the tackle. Who wants the ball now? Comes back there now to Halad. Hard and straight towards the 30-metre line here. Options left, options right. They come to left, the Foran. Short pass, and they're dropped down now only about 15 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal line. We've had 2 minutes here on Bar TV Sports. Foran, he goes himself. Got it back to Watts. He sees the gap. Gap closes there from Gilmore. 10 metres out. 0-0 on the Bar TV Sports. Foran kicking to the end goal area. Metcalf is chasing, but I think the ball may have
I think it's a try.
Sat up for him. Or has the ball gone dead?
There's a bit of concern for the player down on the ground here. I think they're trying to work. I think the Kurri player might have gone head first into the fence, and I think they're more concerned about that at the moment than awarding the try. But I think they have awarded it now.
He's up. That's a try. He's okay.
Well, thank goodness for that, because there's not much distance, is there, up here at the Kurri Sports Ground, between the dead ball line and the fence. But the try has been awarded.
Yeah, Sean Metcalf out there. It was a beautifully weighted kick, and Metcalf, he was racing the in-goal line there, but he got there just in time and did well to ground the ball.
It was a really well set up set by Cessnock then. Their forwards took it forward. Foran and Jake Watts were pretty instrumental throughout the set. But the forwards really laid a platform and gave Foran a little bit of room to move, and it was a great kick on the end of it.
I know it's only early in the game, but doesn't Jake Watts look sharp in the couple of runs that he's had? He's just what Cessnock need, a bit of pace in the middle of the field. He could be a big difference for them this year.
He's a hooker normally. Junior, he was a hooker, but he's definitely fitting into that 5'8" role really well.
So Liam Foran instrumental with the kick. I'll go a long way if he keeps up those sorts of kicks throughout 2016. Here's the kick to convert the try in front of a rowdy bunch, and they've put him off. So no change here on the Bar TV Sports scoreboard. What a start for Cessnock. They lead by 4 points to 0.
The Cessnock try, ladies and gentlemen, obviously has not been converted. Cessnock lead on the PRD nationwide scoreboard, 4 points to 0.
Back here after 3 minutes here on Saturday night, Charity Shield, the Coalfields Derby. So far, Cessnock in control by 4 points to 0 after a perfectly weighted kick from the boot of Foran, the fine Metcalf. Of course, Metcalf has been with the Goaners for a number of seasons now. Leads from the front in the centre position. And speaking of leading from the front, their forwards will go forward all night tonight, and that was Alec Fatter. They're making easy metres back out towards their own 40-metre line here, Cessnock. Back to Foran inside the 40. Bangs the boot off in the ball downfield. This is Griffith at the back. And runs straight into Williams here, right on the Bulldogs' 20-metre line. Does a bit of a somersault there to play the ball back.
Good set of 6 from Cessnock there after points, getting through their set. Good kick on it. Good chase as well.
Good to see Chris Pine making a tackle early there. Of course, he's back into the Cessnock side after a couple of years in retirement. Retirement hasn't done him any harm. He's built like a brick outhouse for a winger, I must say.
First penalty for the Charity Shield of the Bulldogs here. So that's 1-1 the penalty count after the first 6 minutes here on Bar TV Sports. A lot of players bleeding fresh talent out here tonight. So as far as stats go, probably doesn't mean much, but they last met in the last competition round last year. Kurri defeated Cessnock by 28 points to 20, while the Goaners knocked off Kurri by 2 in round 7. What will 2016 bring? Well, we're in for a sneak peek here tonight. Terrence Ciu offloading the pass. This is Cullen. 4 metres out from the Cessnock line. Here come the Bulldogs, looking for their first point of the trial. Back to Cronin. Cessnock, is it time to batten down the hatches for them? Granger, giving it away to Moore. They're 10 metres out here. 7 minutes gone. Ciu gives it away to Granger. Look for the kick. There's a fumble in the background. Costly. No, says the referee. Goal line dropout. Morgan Campbell, talk us through what happened there.
Well, I'd love to be able to tell you, but it looked like a try to me. He looked like he got it down. Chris Pine had the fumbles there between his legs, and the winger for Kurri got his hands on it, but obviously referee Stair thought that Pine had recovered in time to ground it.
Well, Kane, I thought it came off a go-in ankle and ricocheted back to the Bulldogs for a try.
Yeah, I think he fumbled it as he was going in to pick it up, but I didn't quite see who got the first hand to it, but Stair was closer than us, so we'll go with it. I won't argue as a Cessnock person.
Now Gilmore. Another penalty coming up from right in front of the posts.
I think it'll be interesting to see as the half goes on as well. Talking back to the last game of last year when Cessnock had a comfortable lead, Kurri ran them down, and Terrence CUC was instrumental around that ruck. It'd be interesting to see towards the back end of the half how Terrence takes it on.
And now here's Gilmore. It's the CUCU. Finding Cronin straight through.
What about the
And Gilmore
what about the commentary?
picks up. How good was that? They've struck back. 4-all, kick to come.
Kane Bradley, expert of the year.
I think that's a commentator's curse for a goanna.
Well, talking of that, they've hit the line and they've been able to strike. They've been able to crack the wall for the first time, the Cessnock Goannas. They'll need to tighten up as the old boys shed in full flight.
As per usual, Terrence CUC there, he made mugs of the Cessnock defence. He threw the dummy and then strolled through like he was walking the dog. It just opened up for him. That's not a great sign for the Cessnock defence early in the game, but just shows, as Kane was saying, quite how wily Terry CUCU is.
Walking the Bulldog, Morgan.
Indeed.
He's got a very uncanny knack for changing his speed. He's very good at that. He can be really, really quick, and he can also play really, really slow and hold the defence off. So he's definitely a talent. He's a great player for this competition.
So Kate Hardy to put the Locals up by 2. That's his equation on screen. And he likes it. Touch judges put their flags up in the air.
I hope our cameraman got that catch up on the hill there above the head. That was a perler.
Classic catch.
It was AFL style. It was a mark above the pack. Lovely work from the gentleman in the grey hoodie back there.
Need to get the bucket heads out.
That's it.
So the lights taking effect here at Kurri. 6-4. The Charity Shield of 2016. We're well into the first half of rugby league. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, hashtag on Twitter, Bar TV Sports, and we'll endeavour to read out your tweets as the game goes on as the Bulldogs try and make a bust.
Ryan Walker's on the field.
Great runner of the ball, isn't he?
In jersey 19 as well. This is Terrence CUCU. Always looking around, looking for runners. This is Hardy in 4. He's dropped down inside the Goannas territory. They're 40 metres out. CUCU again instrumental from dummy half. Former picker. Played a lot of his earlier career with the Newcastle Knights as well. And of course in the New South Wales Cup.
Couple of years at Cessnock as well.
Up the road, he knows what this man with the ball's all about. And now the Goannas try and put on a bit of a step. But the defence is led there over the top by Gilmore.
Interesting to see they've got Callum Orchard playing fullback to Cessnock. They had a bit of trouble with that position last year. I think they had 4 or 5 players have a crack at it after Kerrod Holland went to the Newcastle Knights. It'll be interesting to see if they settle on Holland for the rest of the season.
He's a tireless worker, Cal Orchard too. He's a good kid, so hopefully he goes all right.
Had a really good year last year, even though he was on the wing for most of it. He just grew into it.
Well, Alec Fatter there, just losing control of the football in the middle of the park. So they're inviting the Bulldogs back down inside their danger zone, aren't they?
Certainly are. And they've got a danger man just about to pack into the back of the scrum, Mitch Cullen. He's got the build of Corey Parker, the skills of Sean Johnson, and the hair of Brad Myers. He's a tremendous asset to the Kurri side.
He's a tireless worker too. Sometimes, if anything, you could criticise Mitch for trying too hard, but he's certainly a great asset to the team, and he'll just continue to go all day.
This is Hammond. Playing it back to Macbeth. Comes in off the wing. Takes a 3-man tackle there from Cessnock.
Tell you what, he'll have the captain under pressure, Macbeth.
Hammond is able to beat Foran. Now they spin it through the back line again. Ball's on the ground. And a knock on. Scrum will pack down 15 metres in from touch.
Lucky break for Cessnock there after the error from Alec Fatter. They've turned the ball over inside 4 tackles, so Cessnock will get the ball in good field position and get it down there.
I know the coach of the Bulldogs mentioned to us earlier tonight that he would like to see uncharacteristic errors out of their game, the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he said last week they had a pretty scrappy game against Dubbo Sims. They similar format to this. They played them in a lot of grades, but in first grade they had the lead for much of it. Were behind for much of it, and ended up having to score, I think, 3 times in the last 10 minutes to win the game. But they want to get those errors out before the start of the season.
Pass was flat. It went backwards, says our referee. So 15 metres in from the Johnny Sattler stand end of the Kurri Sports Ground. Back through the arms of Foran. Popping it up there. And, of course, in jersey number 14, we have
Reid Hugo.
Hugo. Back to Foran again. Been good for Cessnock since he's come across from Super League.
Oh.
Great tackle there on Macbeth. Of course, that was from Williams from the Goannas.
Great defender he is. He's an excellent defender for such a small guy. He's a fantastic defender one-on-one.
CUC been busy, as you'd expect. Hard hitting here in the Charity Shield from both sides. From both sides of the border, one might say. The Coalfields Derby here on Bar TV Sports. This time the kick splitting the fullback and the winger. And speaking of that tremendous defence, we've just seen it there, led of course by Bradley Hammond from the Bulldogs.
Good pace about the game early. It's hasn't got a slow trial tempo. They're going full on at each other.
So Foran exploits a gap. He saw it. He's seen it. Speaking of the ball runner, Williams. He draws. He gives it back to Foran. He gives it back to Williams. Williams is running out of support. So he takes the tackle about 8 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Here comes Cessnock. Back to Foran again. He gives it away to Watts. He goes to the line. Offloads it to Barber.
Great tackle.
What a tackle on Barber.
Forward pass.
It was a forward pass.
It's a great ball by Jake Watts to Kurri Barber. Kurri Barber will be a really good addition to Cessnock this year. He's back from England. He had a stint in England last year with Lee, and he's back over and runs a great line on the edge.
Well, the Bulldogs last year, they conceded on average 27 points. And the coach also mentioned that it goes without saying, defence can pretty much win your games as well, let alone attack, as we see another penalty coming up. That's the 5th penalty of the first 20 minutes here on Bar TV Sports.
I think a few guys are just starting to get a little bit tired. We're nearly halfway through the first half, and you can see the guys are starting to feel the pinch of the fast pace that's been at the start of the half. So maybe see a few penalties in here if they're not going to clean up the ruck.
Don't worry about a trial match. This is a premiership match with the intensity and the enthusiasm on display here tonight. They come up the Johnny Sattler side. The cover is equal to the challenge there from Cessnock. The Bulldogs inside their own half, trying to get over the halfway line, and they do that now through Brock Gilmore in 8. Where will it come now? Comes back then out of Granger. Good flat pass there. And Mrs. Moore offloading the pass. Back to Granger. Put down there by Pine. Rolls it back to Hammond. He finds CU. Great ball. Cullens into space. 10 metres out. Here come the Bulldogs. Look for the kick into the in-goal area. Come off Cessnock's Foran. He's got back down and picked it up. Great work there by Liam Foran.
Interesting. Both sides early in this game wanting to use the ball down the short sides and trying to get it wide whenever they can. Oh, look out, there's a turnover. But it does show you maybe that's the way it's going to go for the rest of the season. These teams are going to be keen to throw the ball around a bit.
CU dishing it up to Nathan Campbell. 5 metres out. What a chance for Kurri here. CU! He explores the chance and turns it into points. 10 points to 4. Kick to come. Well, what a half it's been for Terrence CU.
Daniel Smiles won't be happy with that at all. He's not going to be happy with the lack of attention to Terrence around the ruck, especially close to their line. And if they're not going to pick that up, they're going to be in for a long night because he'll just keep going there all night.
I think you're absolutely right, Kane. It's not as if it's a surprise that this bloke's throwing dummies and snapping out of dummy half. He's been doing it in this competition for nearly 10 years, so they really need to be a bit more aware of it.
Well, the punters, they wanted a good start from the locals, and they've got it. 10-4, long way to go in the Charity Shield. It's so good. So far, the signs are good here from the Kurri Bulldogs here on home soil. As we said at the top of the telecast, a crowd in excess of nearly 2,000 people in here today. And whoever wins this match will claim the Charity Shield.
Pretty disappointing for Cessnock there too. They got the ball back inside their own 20 and coughed up possession on the first tackle. Third tackle in, and Terence has gone over. So wasn't a great deal of reaction to their costly mistake, and they're paying the penalty for it now.
I got to say, Pete, I don't know about you, but it's pretty chilly up here.
It's 30 degrees at midday. Now it's probably
It's
about
not-
13
It's
at
not
8
anymore.
o'clock at night.
It's almost as if the weather's adjusted for rugby league season.
I've noticed that you've brought your snow jacket along for the ride too,
Always,
Morgan.
it's a staple. It always comes along.
Duck or feathers?
Duck feathers.
I doubt the boys in the middle will be concerned about the coolness of the weather.
It's certainly 30 plus degrees out there. Of course, last year's Charity Shield, it was awarded to Cessnock, but it finished in a 16-all draw. 7-5. The Charity Shield since its inception back in 2003 in favour of Cessnock as well. So Kurri, they'll be looking to bridge the gap here tonight. That's more than 11.
Good defence by Reid Hugo there too.
Foreign. If he's not kicking, if he's not... The traffic copper out there is muscling up in defence as well for Cessnock. This is Terence Ciucio having a blinder.
That looks like the bumper.
It is.
In for another season. Don't the crowd love him? And why wouldn't they? He winds up off the back fence. Always has an impact when he comes out.
Driving the kick downfield. Misfielded at the back. They clean it up well, the Goannas, before they're crunched by Moore. Right on his own 20-metre line. So the Goannas looking to break free. This is Woodbury. He can run straight into Griffith. Look out for him, as Kane mentioned there, when it gets into open pastures, that's for sure. This is Chris Pine. Put away by Campbell. They come the commentary side again. Halad. Seems like an eternity since they've been down this end of the field. Cessnock. Here's Foreign kicking back to the right-hand side. The chasers are coming through. But Wyborn saving the day for the Bulldogs.
Cessnock need a mistake here, or they just need to not give away a penalty just to try and put a little bit of pressure on Kurri. Kurri have been finding easy yards out of their area for the last probably 5 minutes or so, putting the pressure back on Cessnock.
I understand the Kurri jerseys will be auctioned off for charity after tonight's match.
They're fairly bright, aren't they?
Very creative. Just like that tackle. That was bright and effective from the Goannas.
It was probably what they needed to, Cessnock. They've been under the pump a little bit in the last 5 minutes, as I said. So maybe they can try to reinstall a little bit of pressure back on Kurri here.
Apologies to Justin Peterkin for the shameless mock I put on him in the last set.
I think he's doing well to be out there. He's the same age as me.
22.
Almost.
The time now for Cessnock to get themselves well inside the Bulldogs territory. That's the first on the 40 of the Bulldogs.
Another promising young Cessnock kid just ran the ball then, Brett Mendyke. Look out for him this year.
They come the right-hand side. Good hands. Right around the bootlaces. Did well. The 12 is with it. And of course, that's Kurri Barber. That's Dimmick. That's Foran. Out the back it comes. So far, so good here for Kurri. Cessnock through Foran. Away to Watts. He's going to test them out here with the kick. They diffuse it well. In goal. Back out to the 20 here. Not so sure about the kick.
Just a fraction deep from Jake Watts then. Wind didn't hold it up at all and gave, I think it's Torrens, a pretty easy catch on that one.
That's Bradley Hammond. Now the Bulldogs come towards halfway. See you patiently awaiting a dummy half. That's Mitch Cullen. Still going, Cullen.
I tell you what, Pete, if they had Supercoach in the real NRL, he'd be the first picked in every side. Tackle busts, offloads, try assists, does it all.
Wonky old kick from Granger. Chris Pine. It bubbled around, but he was able to beat one. He beats two. Trying to beat the third tackle of Ben Wyborn. Couldn't achieve that. Wyborn says, "You're not getting away from me." Here's Wyborn again. Two consecutive tackles from the big number 12 from the Bulldogs. Finding it hard, aren't they, to come outside their own half here. Penalty.
Yeah, that was pretty easy to see. He had an arm in that one. Come out at a great rate of knots. You don't just drop a ball like that unless there's a hand in there.
So Foran in his second season with the go-winners. What a kick for touch. Finds the line. 15 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Well, Foran instrumental with the first try tonight. Pinpoint kick. Wasn't it for Sean Metcalf? And can they go in on the back of that tremendous touch finder once more here, leading into half-time? 14 minutes to go in the first half.
So that's Brett Stevens on now in number 1. He's come on Cal Orchard's off, I'd say, so we've got another number 1 on, but it's Brett Stevens.
Juggled, lost. And the Bronx cheer goes up from the old boys.
Pretty scrappy from Cessnock there.
I'm just trying to have a look through that old boy standard. They got the races on behind them there. They've usually got the Foxtel or the Sky Channel going on in the background, so you can have a bit of phone tab and watch the game and have a couple of beers. It's a lovely afternoon.
Kane, what was it like as a player to come here to the graveyard?
Yeah, it was pretty tough, especially as a Bradley walking into Kurri Sports Ground or walking out into the field. You're destined for a fair bit of abuse. No, it was always pretty daunting, and especially Kurri in the second half. They love to go downhill, and I can see already they're running uphill in the first half, and they love going downhill with the old boys into their try line in the second half. So it was always very daunting, and if you come away with the 2 points, you're always pretty happy.
Granger flicking it back on the inside. The Charity Shield of 2016 in full motion. This is Mitch Cullen.
You'd love to see a hit-up count from Mitch Cullen today so far.
Ball played back to CUCU. Giving it away now to Ben Wyborn. 12 points to 4. Walker, juggled by Granger, did well. Got it back, tries to get away from Foran. Last tackle now for the Bulldogs. CUCU again, they're going to run it. Peter King, spinning, weaving, trying to kick the ball. Couldn't quite do so, Morgan.
I'm not copying that. No, kicking licence revoked.
Better defence from Cessnock too. That CUC got out a dummy half on the 5th tackle. Was looking to see what opened up for him, and they tightened up pretty well. So well handled from Cessnock on that occasion.
So we've just got 12 minutes remaining here in the first half. Hashtag Bar TV Sports. Join the conversation here in the Charity Shield with Kane Bradley, Morgan Campbell, and Peter Jolly here. The Coalfields Charity Shield. Which way will the silverware be going? Penalty.
I was just about to give the 14 a bit of a rap for Kurri. I think it's Campbell. He's been pretty involved. Plenty of hit-ups and plenty of defence, but he's just given away a little bit of a costly penalty then and helped Cessnock out of their area.
Apthorpe down to the 30-metre line. Penalty again.
Left him no choice there. Ben Wyborn, he was all over him in the play of the ball. Pretty high penalty count so far in this game, I must say.
So Foran says, let's kick it into touch. And he
Good
finds
take.
the old boys. Well, that's a pretty good catch over there.
That was one-handed. He didn't spill his drink. That was very nice work.
The Tuies intact. Maybe not so the Bulldogs' defence here. Cessnock grinding their way.
Good defence from Campbell on his line.
Foran. Was that Foran? No, it wasn't. It was the number one in Stevens.
Yep.
Apthorpe in 16. Deep numbers to the commentary side.
They got numbers at the left, Cessnock.
This is the way they come. Foran. Great pass. Oh, they've lost the football. It's gone backwards. It was touched. 6 more tackles now. And Mendyke. The tackle count is restarted here.
No, it's a penalty. They're in the ruck.
Well, the call from the crowd was he just dropped it cold, but not so much the case here.
Did look like he rushed it a little bit.
The 500 assistant referees behind the fence, they didn't agree.
Especially up in that shed.
Yeah, there's a few experts.
Foran, dummying, offloading. Is there a try about to come for Williams?
Good
What a
defence.
tackle. He's got that down, Pete.
There's a try here.
That's Chris
for
Pine.
Cessnock. Chris Pine has burrowed and got the try, leading into the break. 12-8 kick to come. Wow, that happened so quickly. But it's effective for them. 4-pointer for them.
They really needed points then, Cessnock. They'd had enough ball down here. Curry giving away a few cheap penalties. Phil Williams will be happy with that, just consistently giving Cessnock a leg up in their own area. But if there's one thing that Chris Pine can do, and I know Morgan said it before, it's good to see him back, he can definitely find a try line. Played a lot of footy with Chris Pine, and he's a definite try scorer.
Well, a hush went over the crowd there. Don't know if too many Cessnock supporters might have travelled down. Certainly.
It looked like it was coming, Peter, I must say. They'd been sending some pretty heavy fire at them, and Curry were making, or certainly made a couple of really good tackles on the line. The defence was pretty committed, so it would be really deflating to let it sit such a simple try in.
So Jake Watts just taking his time with the conversion. As we look over to the scoreboard here, we've got 9 minutes remaining in the first half here.
This is when you know you're at Curry Sports Ground, Peter, I can tell you. From many, many experiences, when you've got a kick out wide, you're destined for plenty of abuse from the crowd, and they let you know that they're here. So
Come on, Kane, it's just advice and encouragement.
absolutely.
It builds confidence, one might say.
Yeah.
Here's the kick. They've put him off. And especially down in that corner as well. That's where all the...
The other side's also not too bad because you're very close to the sideline over on that side. So if you score right in that corner, by the time you walk back, the crowd's about a metre behind you. So
It's not just first grade, can I say? I played in a primary school game here and was copping abuse. It doesn't matter what grade you are.
and that was from your own family.
And that's as a 5-year-old.
Them as well,
But you've turned out all right, Morgan.
arguably.
Here's the kick. Downfield to restart the play. With 8 minutes remaining in the first half
Good
here.
carry.
Tremendous run. Picked it up off his own 10-metre line and he's made it out to the 30. That's the second tackle here for the Goannas.
Sam Apthorpe, I think.
To his feet. Turning it on the inside, wasn't it? Came from Stevens. Towards halfway. Well, the lifting. You just sense it from the crowd. Curry will have to go with them, especially right now. They've made a break. Where's the chasers? Did well, Bulldogs. Still on for
Good defence,
Cessnock.
Terence Sue to be back there.
Foran. Got a
Good
score.
ball.
Williams. Back to Pine. There's a try before the break. Well, you could see that coming
Oh.
a mile away.
A little bit of push and shove in the middle.
There you go.
Definitely not a trial game.
I don't think I've ever been to a charity shield where there hasn't been a stink at some stage. Most of these blokes would have been like a frog in a sock over the summer, waiting to get out there, and naturally enough, it boils over.
And that's also in the under-9s.
Yeah, that's right. You can usually get one in every grade.
There's the try awarded.
It was a good bit of play there. Cessnock, they busted them open, and then Kurri just weren't able to recover quickly enough. It was nice from Jake Watts. He threw the nice flat pass to Sean Metcalf and then was good enough to stay alive back on the inside to get it back. But then by the time they came out wide here, they had so many numbers. Chris Pine could have brewed up a pot of Earl Grey and strolled over for the try. They had plenty of space.
Foran done a really good, held up and played really well then as well, Morgan. He took the ball right to the line. He copped a good shove for his worth, but he held it right up, kept the defence interested, and as soon as he flung it wide, Cessnock had an easy overlap.
And of course, the charity everybody's playing for tonight with donations will be going to Heal for Life. The local charity up here in the coalfields. And looking around here, I think they're going to be in for some good coin.
Yeah, it's always a good fundraiser for the local charities, and it's good to see them on board. As you said, it's a great initiative. There's a great rivalry between Cessnock and Kurri, but to have both clubs come together for a charity each year and be able to do it, it's fantastic.
How would you be feeling now, Kane, if you had this kick?
He'd be feeling better that they've just scored another try, but he won't be feeling real good now as it fades away to the left-hand side.
And don't forget, the Kurri Old Boys present the season launch in the Sportsman's Dinner. Now that's going to take place on the 2nd of April at the Kurri Bowling Club. Steve Roach and Paul Sheridan, old West Balmain Tiger boys, coming along for a run now. If they heard me say West Tigers,
It's nearly very bad.
hope that doesn't get back the blocker.
I'd reckon, dear oh dear.
Ask them about Warren Ryan and see what they say.
So it's going to be an entertaining night. So tickets are available at the club.
Well held.
And you can also get the tickets on the Old Boys Facebook page. So why don't you just get along for a great entertainment night, rub shoulders with the Old Boys as well, with the current crop, and with two league legends here in Australia, Steve Roach and Paul Sheridan. So 4 minutes out from the break. The go-winners making easy meterage up the middle, aren't they, Kane?
They are. There's certainly a little bit of feeling out there too, Peter. I was just looking then when they scored the try down there was a little bit of friction between Sean Metcalf and number 15 for Kurri, Joel McCann. And it's on again just as Sean took the ball up there. He's a game man if he's wanting to take on Sean Metcalf front on.
Foran, his game. He loves the pass because he loves plays into holes. And that was Williams, who went into that gap. Last tackle. Back to Foran. It's on the ground and in the touch.
Dear oh dear, that was very ambitious down the short side.
Yeah, not the play you want, especially after points.
Whoop, hello, stink.
Cheeky bloody halfbacks.
Don't you love him? So the touch judge is coming in as well.
Pretty poor finish on the set, and Dan Smiles won't be happy with that. They've scored points, and they could have put some pressure on Kurri there, and they've really let the foot off the throat there.
So 3 minutes left as we go in towards half-time here. We're locked up at 12 all. So you see you giving it away. Over there on the Johnny Sattler side of the field, I think that was the 11 taking 40 more.
Bit of career advice from the railway sleepers down here. You should have stayed retired. Piney was the call.
Oh,
It's a bit heavy.
That's heavy.
he's got a meat pie under his belt tonight. So
He's got
it's probably
two,
not
hasn't
too
he?
bad. Oh, he's got two, sorry.
Yeah.
He has two.
He's bagged 2 tries and they're trying to pension him off.
We're at Kurri, remember.
Yeah.
You wear that black and gold jumper, you'll cop anything.
That's why we love it up here.
It's also good to see there's a lot of young guys, so they understand the history. A lot of these guys out here, their fathers played for Cessnock, so they understand the rivalry between Cessnock and Kurri. And there's a few local guys for the Kurri side as well, so there'll definitely be some feeling throughout the year between the two sides.
And before the match, we were actually speaking with Sam Apthorpe's grandfather, who's come along tonight, and I'm sure a lot of the fathers and the families are out here tonight supporting their sons out here in the heat of the battle. This is Granger. Flung sideways.
Oh, lots of niggle in that tackle from Sean Metcalf.
Here's the kick off the boot of Walker. He knows where to place them. Right in towards the dead ball line. Can they get back out?
It's a great kick. Great result on it.
Only just. And a great kick, but even better bringing it back off their own dead ball line. Must have only been centimetres in that from going over the touchline in goal, and of course the dead ball line.
Kurri need to be careful and not go over the top here and give away a penalty.
Oh! Look out.
Solid tackle.
That's the 15 you were talking about, Kane, and actually I think
He's not
Sean
happy
Metcalf...
there, Metcalf.
I think Sean Metcalf pointed straight at him as he was taking the ball up. I thought he was originally pointing at one of his players, but he pointed straight at the 15 McCann and then ran straight at him.
Yeah, Sean needs to be careful here as well. He can get pretty hot-headed. He needs to calm it down. We've got time out.
How did you see that tackle, Kane?
Yeah, it looked like a good tackle. It was pretty close to the line of going above the horizontal, but I think it was fair. There's been a couple, and he's been consistent with it tonight. There's been a couple just on the borderline of on the horizontal, and I think it was okay. It's probably a bit silly from Sean dropping the ball and going on with it. It was a good tackle, and should have got up and copped his medicine and played on.
How did you see it, Morgan?
It just looked like a good tackle to me, Pete. There was nothing illegal about it. He just, as Kane said, he just hit him front on and sat him on his back. And I think, if anything, he hit him so hard that he was almost went full circle. It was a really good front on effort, and it's bubbling away beautifully this game.
So big chance now for the Bulldogs before the break. See you. Goes short. They're lining up to take it forward. Cronin.
Penalty.
Stripped. Right in front of the line. So they're not going to waste any time, are they? Terrence Siu just wants to get on with it. 2 minutes left on the clock. First half. Siu goes himself. Siu will be close to going over the touchline shortly.
Oh, what a ball.
Then he offload the pass. And there's the try to the Bulldogs right on the stroke of half-time. Well, Siu. How did he get that ball away? He's a magician.
Well, that had shades of Semi Radradra from last night. That was a beauty from Terrence Siu. He looked like they were going to put him in the car park, but he just managed to stick the arm out, get the ball away somehow, and Kurri go over for a killer of a try this close to half-time.
Once again, you go back to that Sean Metcalf giving away a penalty. It's the greatest crime in rugby league, in my opinion, giving away a penalty with a ball. That's put his team under immense pressure just before half-time and not what they needed. And obviously, Terrence has made him pay, and Kurri have gone over in the corner with a kick to come.
Oh, the crowd absolutely love that. It's fairly dark in that corner. So from a commentary point of view, you've got Buckley's chance to pick out the try scorer.
I think it may have been Torrens, the winger, possibly.
Yeah, I think that's right, Kane.
He came back on the inside off his touchline. So if it was Torrens, he certainly brought the crowd alight here. Here's the kick.
Fair play to him for staying with it there, Torrens. It would have been easy to say, well, CUC is going out, we'll have a smoko, but he stayed alive and got the ball.
From the touchline. Looks good off the boot. It's coming back around. What a ripper from the touchline. Right on half-time.
Yeah,
6-pointer, 18-12 in favour of the Bulldogs. Can you believe it?
Pretty reliable, Cade Hardy on the boot. He, of course, famously last year, first game of the season for Maitland against Central, sunk a conversion from the sideline to win them a game after the bell. So he's a hell of a kicker, and that was one of his best so far tonight.
I'm sure he would have copped a little bit there too. He had it right in front of the Cessnock dugout, and I'm sure there was a little bit of a few remarks over his shoulder on which way to aim it.
That's the cordless drill indicating half-time.
So we go to the break at 18 points to 12 as the kick was converted from the touchline. What an entertaining 2016 Charity Shield. And what a furthermore entertaining second half we've got lined up on the other side of this break. So we'll take a break and come back to the Kurri Sports Ground for the second half. So here we go for the second half here on Bar TV Sports. Hope you're enjoying our coverage tonight of the Charity Shield. We're certainly enjoying bringing the action across Australia
We've had a ref
and
swap.
throughout the
Johnny Taylor.
entire world.
One of my
This
favourite
is Bar
referees.
TV. A referee swap. You don't see that anywhere else.
Go easy, Kane.
I had a great relationship with the referees, Morgan.
Yeah, blood pressure down, mate. Come on.
Nah, Johnny was good.
One of your favourites?
Nah, Johnny and I got along pretty well. We knew where we stood.
Black and white.
Yeah. He'd just say, come on, Kane. That's enough.
That's Halad being picked up and dumped. And the surface here isn't in great nick.
Yeah, we just heard at half-time how they've had some new irrigation in it in the off-season, and definitely looks like good coverage of grass.
So a good start to the second half. That's Foreign taking it to the line and offloading. You could hear the impact.
Cannonball.
It was. Goes the kick downfield. The defence coming through, led of course by Halad. Eyeballed the Bulldog and Griffith. That was Hammond playing the ball back. Running into Orchard here.
It was a pretty frenetic first half, Peter. It'd be interesting to see if that sort of tempo holds up in the second. There was so much going on. I wouldn't be surprised if the coaches got him in and said, look, I know it's Cessnock and Kurri, but it's only a trial. Just settle down a little bit.
Go winners
look
here. Great footwork. They're close to the touchline, and the flag goes up. Joe Woodbury just sliding over the touchline here in front of the commentary box.
I think little things like that would be what the coaches would probably be most disappointed about. Joe didn't really need to do that. He needed to maybe head infield, take the tackle. There was no pressure on him. It would have been their second set with the ball, and he just flirted with the sideline too much and got taken over.
Having said that, it was a pretty sharp bit of work there from Kevin Torrens. He had good presence of mind to know the touchline was nearby and keep him moving. As soon as you stop with those tackles, it'll be a penalty if you push him over.
Absolutely.
It's Bradley Hammond. It's Joel McCain. 3 men over the top to complete the tackle. Now Nathan Campbell. Running straight into the eye line of Fatah. Granger. Away to Cullen. He finds Griffith. And the nuggeting. Fullback. Playing it back to Siu. Walker.
They were just a little bit lateral with the ball then, Kurri. They just kept on heading towards the sideline, and Cessnock were able to cover it up pretty easy.
Last tackle here. There goes the kick. It's deep. They take it on the full. The goal winners will come back to the 20-metre line for a tap. Morgan Campbell.
Yeah, pretty steady start to the second half so far. There hasn't been anywhere near the intensity of the first.
It's 18-12. 6-point ball game.
I notice also, Peter, that Sean Metcalf isn't out there, so maybe the coach just thought he wanted to get him in and let him cool down for a little bit before he sent him back out.
Orchard giving a good ball there to Brendan Halad. Right on the halfway line. Foreign. Back to Barber. Cut down there from Nathan Campbell. Orchard putting it along the ground.
Now that's Brett Stevens out there, Pete. Getting it tricked up with that number 1. Brett Stevens up here with the number 1, playing at dummy half, and Cal Orchard at fullback.
So we've got 2 number 1s on the ground.
No pressure, Pete. You'll be right.
No
mate.
pressure.
We just like to trick these Kurri people.
It's Torrens in 2.
Brett Stevens is a very versatile player. He's played everywhere across the back line and played a bit of dummy half. I think he'd probably play front row if they asked him to. He does a job wherever he plays.
Coming up towards the halfway line. Before they met. The shoulder there of Watts, the 5/8. Last tackle now for the Bulldogs. Off the left foot of Ryan Walker. So good field territory to start a fresh set. Right on the 20-metre line. They can't get up. They tried to get up to the 30. But Wyborn stops them in the tracks just like this man. Mitch Cullen stopping the go-inners. Trying to halt their power through the middle of the ground. Slow play the ball back to Foran. Great ball. Cessnock support in and out. That's the last tackle now. Look for the kick. Look for the chase. Look for the ball. Look for the try, maybe. They're throwing the pass. Oh, what a shot. What a ball. That's
Cullen.
the highlight. Cullen. Have a go at that. If we had a replay machine here tonight, well, it's probably going to be blown up. That was impeccable.
Dear, oh dear,
Have you seen anything like that?
He just blindsided him then, didn't he? He come in from the right-hand side. I think it's taken a little bit of hurt out of Mitch as well. He's in the background there behind the Kurri line, and he's sucking him in as well. But it was certainly a great play and well-timed.
What a collision. I think both players would be feeling it. You can't hit someone that hard and not feel it. That was a beauty.
Well, it had everything. The collision, the pass.
It's actually interesting. I was just about to make a comment that going on from Morgan before, it has been a pretty tentative start from both sides until that last set from Cessnock. There was a bit of enterprise in it. They shifted the ball to the left-hand side, made a couple of breaks, and Kurri were able to recover and shut him down at the end.
So we've stopped the clock here.
It's a Kurri player down in back play. I'm not quite sure what happened because it's not Mitch Cullen who made that big hit, so it's, I think, the player who was left behind by Brendan Williams during that line break.
I think he might have had a collision with his own player as Brendan Williams went through.
So as you can see, referee joined over there by the touch judge. Touch judge on this side of the field has stayed in his normal position. He's not coming to get involved in this one as we see the Bulldogs here. Everything is A-OK to get us back underway. So back out to their 30-metre mark. It's the locals leading by 6 here in the Coalfields Derby. As we sit at the top, might be a trial game, but a lot of personal pride on the line between both of these sides. What a kick downfield, heading towards touch. And running back into Torrens and also Moran. There's Moran again in 17. 2 in a row. Can he go for his hat trick? He's going to try and do his best. The third tackle's better than his other 2. Picks him up and drives the goanna back towards his own goal line.
That's a good piece of work when you can make 10 yards without the ball. That was very good defence from Kurri. And those sort of efforts are the things that the coach will be looking for. Blokes who, even in a trial game, are going to be putting themselves about and throwing everything into the game.
Cameron Moran certainly made a name for himself there in defence. The ball's on the ground. Cessnock giving up possession here, Kane. 30 metres out for their own line.
It was great defence from the 17 Moran, as you said, and it just put Cessnock under a little bit of pressure, and they just pushed that pass and didn't really need it. They really needed to get to a kick on the end of that set, and Kurri come up with good field possession here inside Cessnock 30 with the scrum, and they'll be cock a hoop coming down with the old boys on their right-hand side.
It's a danger period of the match. Scrum will be packing down. 24 metres out, 15, 20 metres in from touch. They're spread deep to the commentary side. Back to Kevin Torrens. Dangerous, elusive. Quick play the ball. Now it comes back to Hardy. Not one, not two, but three in the tackle. Finally finish him off. Now away to Holman. He got it back on the inside. They're running with gusto. They've lost the ball, though. Picked up by the Goannas.
Yeah, Cullen went up for the strip there. He thought it was taken from him. Taylor didn't agree.
I think he just went in for the tackle, and it was probably just a little bit of a loose carry from Mitch. He'll certainly try and make up for it with defence.
Yeah, and the stench is well and truly back. There's a little bit of push and shove in the play of the ball there. It was Brett Stevens taking on a much bigger player.
Penal forward pass, did he say?
He has too.
He's called the forward pass. Well, he was right in the spot there, our referee. The locals, well, they're not going to disagree with that call.
Absolutely not. And once again, a bit more pressure on Cessnock.
So the scrum packing down. 22 metres out. As Ryan Walker puts it in and giving away to Cullen. Look forward, passing away to Granger, who in turn finds Hammond.
I know we say it's not a trial game and there's plenty of feeling in it, but you can just see from all those little one passes and the little errors and the knock-ons and the penalties, and guys just a little bit fatigued. You can see they're coming up just with one play short and just not putting it together.
Yeah, it's not exactly tight, is it?
No, absolutely not.
There'd be a bit of concern there for Cessnock, though. They got away with it, but that bust, it was a bit of a simple one-on-one tackle that was missed there by the Cessnock player, and Kurri were off and running. So even though the ball was spilled, it was a bit of a concern for the Cessnock defence, who've had a few moments today. Oh dear, whiplash.
Around the shoulders.
They build them tough. Toughest take-up in this part of the world. Trying to get the ball back there was Gilmore from the Bulldogs. Couldn't quite get it back. They take it forward through the lock in Halad.
He's another guy you want in your Supercoach team, Morgan.
I think this is an initiative we should start, Kane. Real NRL Supercoach.
Absolutely.
We might be the only two people in it, but
I'm not any good, so you're destined to win then.
my concern would be who'd take all the stats. That's the trouble.
Well, taking all the penalties, Morgan, in this second half is Cessnock. On the back of a few, they're going to get inside the Dogs' territory. And a good kick by Foran. Finds the line 30 metres out.
I've just got a little bit of feedback out of the Cessnock camp from half-time. It was all positive. They just obviously want to reduce the back-to-back errors, which we've spoken about, and the penalties. And they don't want to ball watch Terrence CUC, which I mentioned earlier. And they just want to square him up in attack.
How's that for sideline eye work? Didn't have to leave the box.
Hey?
Beautiful.
That's why Kane's here.
Yeah.
Investigative journalism, they say, don't they?
That's what they do say. Good run here by the 8. Easton. 2 metres out from the line, looking to get back into the match. Away it comes. Here's that kick into the end goal area. Will it go dead? Will it have to be taken dead?
Good
taken dead. Kane,
good
line
kick.
drop out.
Brett Stevens in there. As Morgan said before, very versatile. Scoots out, gets away from the ruck, sneaks one in behind the line and tries to put a bit of pressure back on Kurri.
One of your mates, Alan Lantry.
Al Lantry over there. He played with Kurri Barber over in Lee. He's online, I think, watching us now. He's still over in Lee East, I think he's playing with, and he's wanted to shout out. He's a great bloke and loves the Goannas.
He was a good player too for Cessnock for
Excellent
a lot of years.
Player.
Had a good career.
This is Kate Antcliffe. And now we see a run by Barber in 12. Dimmick taking it to the line.
He's another one who improved over last year. Josh Dimmick got better and better every week.
Absolutely.
Again, you see Foran there.
Great
controlling
offload.
the ship. Dimmick. A metre out from the line. Foran. Great ball. Knocked down, was it? Doesn't matter. They're over. They're in the corner.
Held up, I think he's
Or
going
is
to
he
call
going
there.
to be held up, Kane? He's held up. Wow. Bit of a stink, as
of
Morgan
push and
says, too.
shove.
Bit of push and shove. Well,
That's 4 by my count.
What's that?
Four little all-in push and shove events.
Bit argy-bargy.
Yeah. No complaints from anybody in the ground except maybe the two coaches.
You always feel a little bit left out if you have a game against Kurri and there's no argy-bargy, I can tell you.
High
You're wondering why they don't like you.
Yeah.
And Cliff.
And the supporters.
Yeah.
Torrens underneath that. Credit to him. That ball was high. That ball was up in the dark. And it just came out of the lights. Ended up taking it absolutely brilliantly to give the Dogs the possession to where they are now.
Couple of changes here for Kurri. Hayden Granger in the sevens, just gone over the dead ball line, so he's going for a rest. And it looks like the 14, Nathan Campbell, as well.
And they've brought Bumper Perdican back on. I hope they're not replacing Hayden Granger with Bumper Perdican.
Look, it's an interesting innovation. Big Bumper Perdican at halfback, something. There'd be twice as many people here if they knew that was going on.
Well, they haven't got... there's still 30 minutes for the crowd to double up, Morgan. What do you reckon?
I think he's actually
Get
got a
the ball
100%
out.
goal kicking record in first grade, I should mention. So if that's any indication, 1 from 1, I think.
Absolutely. He's a great fellow, Bumper. Every club in Newcastle Rugby League needs a guy like Bumper Perdican in their club.
Nice footwork there coming up from the Goannas as they go over their 40-metre line. The crowd haven't gone anywhere here. They've been here since 8:30 this morning. That looks suspicious.
That's Robert Tuliatu, I think, back on the field. Cessnock Jr. Had a couple of years at the Mounties in Sydney.
Now he's playing Newcastle Rugby League. And what many regard as the toughest country rugby league competition going around. Here's the kick. The Bulldogs have lost it. Cessnock come up with it. The referee's going to call it back. No try. Pushed him in the back and out of the way.
It looks like it's a knock on Cessnock that's been ruled by referee Taylor, which is an interesting decision. It looked like Kurri got the first set of hands to it after it speared back out of the turf, but he said that Cessnock had the first knock on.
Chris Pine was absolutely flying down that left-hand side. Then if he got the bounce, she was all lights out. Or shut the gate, as one of my old mates would say.
The horse is bolted.
The horse is bolted. Shut the gate.
Well, this is still a two-horse race. 6 points in it here in the Charity Shield. Nothing separating these sides apart from a converted try so far. That's Walker. That's CU. Goes himself, goes back up the middle of the park. That's Cullen looking to get the arm away.
Great offload.
And he does exactly that.
Only carried 4 blokes with him.
No, he just wasn't stopping until he got that ball away. That was a great piece of work.
Last tackle now for the Bulldogs. CU. Away to Walker. Look for the kick. Walker's chasing the kick too. Walker might even make the tackle here. Along with Wyborn. So they need a good defensive hit out here, the Bulldogs, to push the Goannas backwards as much as they can. Didn't play that ball correctly, wasn't allowed to. Penalty.
I was just about to say that Phil Williams would have been pretty happy with so far in the first half of this second half for Kurri, that they haven't really given away too many penalties around that ruck and they've been pretty clean. But they just come up with a little penalty there and around that ruck and just relieve a little bit of pressure on Cessnock. He'd be pretty disappointed with that.
That's another clean catch in the crowd. What's going on here at Kurri today?
That's the alcohol.
Is that what it is?
It's the
Improves your
Tuies.
vision.
Yeah,
It's
right.
the Tuies.
Fair enough.
Great sponsors of Newcastle League, Tuies, have been for many years.
That'd explain why I've got such poor coordination.
Give the man a Tuies.
Absolutely.
Or two. Speaking of the Goannas, here they come. 42 metres away from the Bulldogs' goal line here. Trailing by a converted try. That's Metcalf.
Yeah, who hit him though?
Centre of the field.
Cullen.
They're lining up to take the ball forward. What a run by Dimmick.
Oh,
He
great
got the ball
offload.
out the back. At Thorpe towards the line. He's short. He'll play
Must
the ball
be
back
close.
now. Only a metre out from the line. Intercepts on. Could be 6 more tackles. Referee might say play on. Referee might even give a penalty.
Well, that was fruit salad for John Taylor. He could have ruled anything there. He's ended up giving Cessnock a penalty because I think the Kurri outside backs were a fair way offside.
Yeah.
But what a good bit of work out of dummy half from Josh Dimmick. It's one of the great skills of a dummy half to know when the opposition's going backwards and run straight at them. And that's exactly what he did there.
So chance not gone here.
They've got some numbers to the right, Cessnock, if they want to shift early.
Looking to get back into the Charity Shield.
They're not going to award this, I don't think.
Surely he's not. Told to play the ball. He's lost it.
Well, what's happened there?
Josh Dimmick, I think, has just come up with the
No,
fumbles,
I
has
think
he?
it was Tuliatu who's dropped it as he was about to play the ball. He's just tried to rush it and he's dropped it cold.
Well, that was all very strange, wasn't it? Very bizarre passage of play. Tuliatu strolled over the try line. Nobody seemed to react. He went back and played it and then fumbled it in doing so. Very peculiar.
Morgan Campbell here in commentary along with ex-Goanna Kane Bradley. Great to have both of them here as we live stream tonight right across the Bar TV Sports television network into the pubs and clubs. More than 40 clubs taking the coverage throughout the Illawarra and throughout the Hunter Valley.
So they'll be watching at the Cessnock Leagues Club with anticipation, hoping the boys can bring it home.
We've got 20 minutes here, Morgan.
More importantly, Kane, do you reckon they've got the sound up?
Well,
I doubt it. I'd say there'd be a 60-odd-year-old gent playing a bit of Kurri and Western music.
Yeah, fair enough.
bit of push and shove going on here. The Goannas 41 metres out from their own line. That's tackle number 2.
Ooh.
That's a better run. He wasn't held. He gets up. He's still going.
He's had a pretty fair game, Brendan Williams, so far.
He has. Slow release. Referee said that's okay. Comes back then out of the big number 14. And he's going to be dropped down about 25 metres out from the Bulldogs goal line. Comes back then out of Dimmick. He offloads a pass. Back to Halad. He straightens up. Great tackle over the top from the Bulldogs. Here they come, the Goannas. Back to Foran. Great ball back on the inside. Here's another speculator. And a speculator it was. They couldn't get over the line. The pass was fired out the back. And it's lost it.
Notwithstanding the drop ball, it was a sharp bit of play down the short side. Plenty of ambition from Cessnock. They're trying to use those quick passes back outside, then back inside. And if it starts sticking during the regular season, it bodes well.
Once again, as I said before, we're just both sides are lacking that little bit of polish on that last pass and the end of their set. And you can tell that's probably the only part of the trial game because the intensity's pretty high. Both teams want it pretty bad, but just lacking that little bit of polish at the moment.
Well, this might be some indication of what sort of game it is. I can see, if you look across to the old boys stand, they've got the NRL on the tellies over there, and no one's watching it. They're all turned watching the game at hand.
And, of course, on Bar TV Sports throughout the pub. So the ratings, not so crash hot for the NRL tonight. It's all in favour of the Newcastle Charity Shield tonight.
Common sense prevails, Peter.
It is. What's the game of your choice, Morgan Campbell?
Well, where am I?
You're at the Newcastle Rugby League.
I've been getting plenty of messages from people who are watching it at home, so we know they're out there. They're in the UK and they're out in the Hunter Valley.
More than 900 live views right now watching this action unfold. This is Ancliffe and the youngster. Hit hard there by Wyborn. Been everywhere for Wyborn and the Dogs tonight. Scooting from dummy half. They're trying to pick up valuable metres, aren't they, the Goannas? Out to the 40-metre line. That's the halfway line.
So they look like they're playing Sean Metcalf as a bit of a back rower in tighter to the ruck rather than playing him on the edge in the centres.
More importantly, he seems to have eased off the angry pills at half-time, which is good to know.
Won't take long to get him back.
Foreign. Oh, they've gone without it. Corey Barber has just turned it over. And Moran, he counterattacks.
Good turn of pace there from Moran, wasn't it? I know he didn't end up busting through, but he was very quick off the mark.
Looks dangerous.
He'll be one to watch late in games all season.
That's Hardy. Kurri leading by 6 here in the Charity Shield. Great hands. Well, he didn't expect it there. Hardy had to go out and collect the football, and he's done well. That's the halfway line. They're throwing the pass around at every opportunity. Back to Cullen. He's been dumped.
Did you have him as your captain in your Supercoach team, Morgan?
Double points for sure. No question.
Oh. Here's a chance now for the Bulldogs. They're down the touchline. They beat 1. They beat 2. The salute will go up, and there's the try. Wow. Great entertainment down there for the old boys. It happened so quick. The old boys were probably Morgan Campbell seeing double.
Fantastic piece of work, wasn't it? The big spiral pass across to the winger. It looked like Lachlan Macbeth, and he steamed onto it on the right-hand side, and he was flying by the time he got to the fullback. There wasn't a hope in Haiti of him being tackled, and the crowd absolutely love it. That's rugby league and the Roar, isn't it?
Oh,
a
the
big, quick
sponsors
winger
product.
charging down the touchline.
It's flowing well over there, Kane.
Absolutely. And it was well summed up there. It was Terence Suyu that threw that ball out to Macbeth on the wing. He once again judges his speed. He let the defence think he was going to go short, threw it straight across everyone, put Macbeth into a heap of space. And as I said before, the Kurri boys love going downhill in the second half. They got the old boys out to the right-hand side, and they certainly played to it there.
Well, 15 minutes to go. It's getting away from Cessnock a bit here. They're going to need 2 converted tries to get back level. So the Charity Shield at this stage looks like it might be heading back over Neath Hill.
It's been a while number of years since Kurri came away off the Shield. Of course, last year it went back to Cessnock, and the following year Cessnock held on to the Shield. But we ended up taking a Bar TV Sports poll. Maybe the fans knew something before we 3 got here tonight. They expected a 1-12 victory to Kurri, and so far, that's the margin. Here's the kick from 12 metres to the right-hand side of the post. The crowd hushing for the local boy to kick it over the dot. Kicking it over the freshly painted blue dot here. I noticed, Morgan, the paint has been here throughout the week. It wasn't you, was it, with your new coat of deluxe paint brushes?
No, it wasn't my doing, but the council runs a pretty tight ship around here, mate. It's no surprise.
I think also, fellas, Kurri have really... John Taylor gives a little bit more latitude around that ruck, and it's certainly been a slower ruck speed in the second half. And I think Kurri have adapted better to that, and they've certainly been a more consistent, impressive side in the second half. Cessnock still coming up with a few too many errors.
13 minutes to go. 12-point margin. 2 converted tries required for the Goannas. And more. We know they can do it.
I think Kurri will win the Shield even if it's a draw, Peter. I'm pretty sure they're half a point in front. I saw some calculations happening before the match kicked off. So over the course of the day, I think they're half a point in front overall. So a draw would see Kurri win the Charity Shield.
Morgan Campbell there.
Has he been off Mitch Cullen? I don't think he has.
No.
Just hasn't got it much, has he? Here's the kick coming off the boot of Walker. Left boot strikes. It may just bounce into touch. Well, he's got it on string today. Ryan Walker.
He's been pretty impressive today. He's normally playing in the centres, or at fullback last year he played a few games, but looks like they've had him playing around the half 5'8" position today, and he's been pretty impressive.
He's just the fella you want to keep getting the ball to, isn't he? He's such a strong runner with it. And he's got that kick in his game as well. He's a real asset to them. He certainly was last year when he came over from Central.
Yeah, for sure. And he hasn't really run the ball too much tonight, Morgan. And if Cessnock aren't careful, I'd say wouldn't mind having a crack at him late in the game.
Biting in defence.
That'd be Chris Pine.
Yes.
Running like a forward.
On Pine.
Oh, no, it wasn't. There you go.
That's how you do it. 3 in there. All eagerly awaiting to take a goanna and thump them into the turf here. Finding it hard, aren't they, the goannas here? And that's the 40-metre line they're about to go over. That's Dimmick. They'll need a good kick. The kick goes along the ground. Torrens, cool as a cucumber, the winger.
I'd like to see him getting a bit of open space. I reckon he's got some toe about him, Torrens.
Yeah, likewise. He looks it, doesn't he?
Real sharp on his feet.
Oh, look out. We've got a rogue jumper. What's going on here? We've got a wardrobe malfunction. We've got 12 blokes in red and 1 in blue.
I think he might have played reserve grade, the guy who's just come on. I'm not sure who he is.
Are they going to auction that jumper off as well?
That'd be interesting.
Likely, that'd be interesting, yeah.
Oh.
Hard and straight. They got the legs pumping. Good run. Good go forward off the back of this. Cullen again. Out the back, the ball pops. That's the last tackle now for the Bulldogs. Walker banging it downfield. The goannas here coming across the field. As we see now, Foran looking around, trying to figure out who he's going to offload the pass to. One out stuff now to Metcalf. His experience. He's trying to lift his boys.
Yeah, they just look a bit lethargic, don't they? They're a bit crammed up. There's not a great deal of width to them.
But
And
Campbell
they're a
lifted
bit
him.
they're a bit just one out at the moment.
At Thorpe. Offloading. This is Brendan Williams. 41 metres out from the line. Trailing by 12 in the Charity Shield of 2016. 9 left on the clock. Foran. There's Torrens again. Can we watch him run? We want to watch him run. Well, we were able to watch him run 15 metres across field, but I'd love to know the odds if he got into space over 100 metres. He's just got that look about him that he's got pace to burn, doesn't he?
And there's no Pine out there either at the moment to chase him down, so it would have been an interesting foot race between Joe Woodbury, Antcliffe and Kevin Torrens.
Here's the kick inside the 40. He's brought his kicking boots tonight, Walker. Originally named in the program in the halves, but dropped back onto the interchange bench to allow Holman and Granger the half combination. Speaking of Holman, there he is in the tackle in 6. Wyborn over the top. So the Cessnock goannas, is time running out for them?
Yeah, certainly. Cessnock need to score in the next set or two, and it's not going to happen now. There's just been a one-on-one strip, and Kurri got the ball.
Ben Wyborn looks like he's in trouble for the Bulldogs. That's him in frame now, limping back into position with the trainer. Corey Holman, the 5'8". He goes to the gap.
It seems to think it's cramped, Ben Wyborn. He's asking for the old push my foot into my leg trick. I don't know whether that ever works, but that's what he's looking for at the moment from the trainer.
Great tackle
It
there,
definitely
Morgan.
does work, Morgan. Definitely works.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Expert.
Especially at this time of year, I was known for a little bit of cramp. Too much of that Tui's amber liquid in the pre-season and the off-season.
See, that's what trials are for.
Here we go.
Walker chasing the kick and taking the tackle.
I thought he might have taken him on then, Pete. He just shaped like he was going to have a bit of a scoot and decided to put it on the toe instead.
Well, he certainly
It certainly works, Morgan.
yeah.
There's Ben Wyborn back.
There you go.
He's running.
passing the 30-metre line, offloading out the back. Foran been quiet in the second half especially. Bulldogs have certainly got up on him and shut him down. One of their pivotal playmakers. Of course, this is his second season. Came across from the London Broncos a few years ago in the Super League to join the Cessnock Goannas.
Chance here.
There is a chance. Williams, look at him go. Williams down the touchline. Williams is still going.
Well, he copped the old sheep shearer treatment there. Grabbed by the collar and just dragged towards the touchline, and eventually he had no choice but to throw it back in field. That was good scramble there from Kurri to recover that position.
6 minutes left here in the Charity Shield, the Newcastle Rugby League.
This is going to do these two teams.
Charity Shield. And what a hit out leading into the first premiership game here. This is not a trial. This is one certain fixture that you'd expect in the premiership.
Oh, dear,
Intensity,
oh dear.
it's had everything.
It has. Curry have definitely been the better side in the middle of the ruck and in the middle of the field in the second half, and you can show that Cessnock just, they look lethargic at the moment, they look tired, and Curry just coming home a stronger team.
It does just look like Kurri wanted a little bit more, doesn't it? Particularly in the second half. They've just been a little bit keener.
He can't do anything wrong, as Morgan mentioned there in commentary, as Walker put another pinpoint kick in towards the touchline. And that just slows down the clock. Here on the Bar TV Sports scoreboard, the Newcastle Rugby League Premiership gets underway in around 3 to 4 weeks' time.
It's incredible to think it's that long until the start of the season, isn't it? It feels like it's football season already. I'm ready for my Saturday afternoon steak sandwiches, but we've got to wait a little while after this little teaser.
They smelled all right walking through the gate, I can tell you.
I'll bet.
That's Dunstan.
They've just tried to get Mitch Cullen off the field before, and he's just waved him away and said, "No, I'm here for the long term."
They'll need a big rubber band.
He dropped it.
He's just dropped that right in the middle of the park. And the fans certainly rubbing it in.
Well, Josh Dimmick, he's had a very good game, but he was just trying to do everything a little bit too quickly there. It's easy enough to do. And, well, Cessnock are looking for a miracle now. 4.5 minutes to get 13 points to regain to retain the Charity Shield. That'd be a fair old win from here.
Absolutely. Both sides were guilty of those silly mistakes in the first half, and in the second half, Cessnock haven't changed it and have continued to make mistakes, and Kurri have curbed it and got on to football, and they're definitely going to come out the victors.
So when you come to Kurri, you expect the chant. It will erupt.
There's plenty of old boys out watching.
They know the song too, the team's victory song.
Have they got it queued up for the... Do you get the victory song after a trial win? Surely, for the Charity Shield.
You'd have to.
I'd reckon. We better clear out pretty quickly then, Kane, I'd reckon.
That's Justin Peter King. He'll be leading the song from the front.
I'll keep the headphones on, Morgan. I might not be able to hear it then.
The last 2 seasons, the Charity Shield has gone to Cessnock. Maybe not the case this year. It first started in 2003. There's only 1 point separating them over the overall tally now. It's going to be 7-6 if the Bulldogs can hang on to this. Here's a field goal to seal the deal.
No.
If the deal hasn't been sealed already, and it's just to the right-hand side of the post.
I think that was a bit more showmanship than anything. We're leading by 12 with 3 minutes to go. I don't think it's in doubt at this stage the way that Cessnock have been coughing up ball. But good luck to them.
I think if he got it, he would just put it.
So, not long to go here. Hope you've enjoyed our live and exclusive coverage tonight on Bar TV Sports. Bar TV back bigger than anything that you've witnessed so far over the last few years this year as we launch into our 3rd year broadcasting the Newcastle Rugby League. Foreign. Spinning it around, aren't they? Mendyke. Giving it back to Foreign. It was Foreign's brother. Instrumental for Parramatta. 23 metres out for the line. Comes back to Dimmick. Away to Foreign. He's going to kick it off the left boot. But the Bulldogs, they've been able to read everything that Foreign's dished up to them in the second half, Kane.
Bit of a nothing kick then. He would have either been better off punching it right into the corner or putting it high, but with 3 minutes to go, I think you're better off just putting it through the hands.
So we haven't got long on the clock to go. Maybe there's another late try.
Sean Metcalf flew out the line then, looking for a big shot.
Well done, Bump.
Bump offloading the ball. Bumping, offloading. What can't he do? That's Cullen. Nearly a Falcon. More. Offloading. Weaving their way around the 20-metre line. Will we see a try? Torrens kicking. Well, Torrens, he's not giving up. He wants to cement a spot in top grade this year. And on tonight's performance, he'll be there come round one, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's made a pretty good claim. They've looked. They've actually got better as the half's gone on, Kurri. It's like the confidence has gradually built up and they're starting to move the ball beautifully.
Absolutely. I think if you look at their completion rate on the back of that second half, that's why they've put some points on. They've been pretty clinical, Kurri, in this second half and deserved winners.
So we're inside. The last 40 seconds of the Charity Shield. This ground is about to erupt like it hasn't erupted in a Charity Shield for a number of years.
I've got to say, that's an interesting option, the old hoof it upfield and hope. Very ambitious.
It was tackle 5.
Yeah, it was. Oh, was it? There you go.
Torrens, look at him go. He fears nothing. He wants to try. Can he get it? He kicks it. He'll probably play on. Walker stepping. Walker weaving. Walker throwing it. Bulldogs dropping it on. Oh, well, we could have saw a bit of razzle-dazzle to end it. In fact, we saw more than razzle-dazzle. We just couldn't see the try. We better push the button. There we go. It's full time.
The Makita drill, full-time siren.
The Charity Shield.
Another screw in the wall. Well done, Peter.
It's going to Kurri.
There's the chant
that
all Cessnockians don't and dread.
Cessnock, they can't retain the shield. It's Kurri's turn to start dancing in the streets tonight. And what a night to dance in the streets. They've been dancing in the streets of Kurri all day with the nostalgic festival. And I'll tell you what, Morgan, you better get your tap-tooing shoes on and join the party.
Well, you may well be right, Peter. They might have to put it. Never mind the Kurri song. They might have to put a bit of Chuck Berry on or something. I don't know. But a terrific win for Kurri, richly deserved. It was only 4 tries to 3. It's easy to forget that. Goal kicking made the margin look a little bit bigger than it was, but thoroughly deserved. They were very, very good. They just looked like they wanted it a little bit more. They were a bit keener in the hits. They hit harder. They caught more balls. More of the passes stuck. Their kicks were a little bit more accurate. They didn't try too much. A pretty good performance, and they should be really happy and really looking forward to the season.
Well, we're up here in the commentary box with the scorekeeper, Bob. Bob, you've been here for 20-odd years.
No.
Plus. Which is 15-odd years.
I bet it feels like 15 years since he got here this morning.
Mate, how proud are you here tonight to claim the Charity Shield?
Well, it's about one of those sort of situations that it grows upon you, and it's very, very good to see that both clubs can have such a wonderful game.
You want to talk about the importance of volunteers in local sport, Peter? Bob got here at 6 o'clock this morning to set up for the day. He's been up in the press box announcing every game. He's been here for about, I suppose that'd be about 14 hours. So it's a fair old effort, and it's, as we always say, it's volunteers like that keep the game ticking over.
And of course, where would rugby league be without the volunteers, the strappers, the trainers, volunteers like Bob, and the community support and the advertisers that get behind the Newcastle Rugby League.
And for both clubs today, there'd be hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that have participated in the day today. So a massive shout out for those guys. If it wasn't for the volunteers in our game, we wouldn't have the game that we've got.
Well, what a great start, guys, for 2016. If we're going to see performances like that, wow, we'll be here all year watching entertainment. And that's what we love rugby league, hey?
Absolutely. It's a very impressive start by both sides. I think, as Morgan said before, Kurri just seemed to want it more, but I think they just curbed their mistakes and those cheap penalties in the second half, whereas Cessnock just couldn't get out of that rut towards the second half, to the end of that second half, and they were never going to put any major pressure on Kurri just by turning over cheap ball.
Well, Peter, I think all that's left to be said really is that bring on the season. I mean, I'm going to have to go into hibernation for 3 weeks. I can't wait.
Oh, Morgan loves rugby league. Kane loves rugby league. We all love rugby league here at Bar TV Sports, and it's been an absolute thrill to be able to broadcast the Charity Shield of 2016. Kurri, too good in the end by 24 points to 12. And, of course, we'll be back on deck with the match of the round throughout the entire regular Newcastle Rugby League season. Of course, Bar TV Sports also have the AAMI Country Championships this year as well, like last year. So everything promises to be a spectacular 2016 season. Well, Kane, thanks so much for coming on into the commentary box. I hope you enjoyed it, mate. We've had a thrill having you here.
Thanks for having me. And, it was great fun. And, look forward to maybe getting asked back up here again through the year if you need me. And, but I might not get that job off Morgan anyway.
We'll see you in round 1.
Sounds good.
All right, then. Morgan, a pleasure as always. We'll hear your dulcet tones throughout the regular season in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, can't wait. As I say, it's going to be a good season. We've got a few extra games as well this year, which is good news. I think we've got 16 games in the regular season this year instead of 14, so a few less of those what do we call them, the spare rounds for washouts and all that. So it's going to be a terrific season, and tonight really sets the tone.
Okay, well, spread the word. Bar TV Sports bringing you your rugby league in 2016. Hit us up on Facebook at Bar TV Sports. Hit us up on Twitter and get in touch and be a part of the rugby league conversation in the Newcastle Rugby League. Well, we leave you tonight with these scenes. The Kurri Bulldogs retaining, well, they're the 2016 Charity Shield winners. They've done it in style here tonight. 24 points to 12. Until round 1, we'll see you then. Bye for now.